The leaves are starting to change here in the northeastern United States, signaling my favorite time of year. And today I'm doing something a little bit different. We're making some DIY projects to then decorate my newly finished outdoor space. For this project, I'm using cement to make a fall tree. And don't forget to wear your PPE when working with this material. I know I always get called out when I don't, so here it is. But I dumped a good amount of the cement powder into a plastic bowl. This bowl is designated for my cement projects because it will get ruined. Next, add some water to the dry powder and mix it up. Mine is more on the watery side this time. I wanted it to be pretty smooth on top. Once it's mixed, I grabbed a plastic nursery pot. This one is a 6-inch pot, and I scooped out some of the cement to place it in the bottom. Nursery pots have holes on the bottom of them, so I didn't want to just pour the cement in, since the top of the mix is where all of that water is sitting, and it would have run right out. So I grabbed this branch from my backyard, and I liked how tall it was, but I should have cut this U shape at the bottom of it off. I thought that the way I had placed it into the cement would be okay because I had the tall section I'm using for the trunk of the tree centered, and that worked out great, but it does have a slight lean to it. Anyways, I used painter's tape to keep the branch in place where I wanted it and then let the cement dry. To create the tree, I picked up a few different floral picks from Hobby Lobby. Now, I know these can get pretty expensive. This tree cost me about $55 to make, and I already had the branch, cement, and nursery pot on hand, but if you had to buy everything and you couldn't even find a branch laying around, this would cost about $72. I understand that is not cheap, but in comparison to buying a similar tree from a retailer, you would spend about half that amount. I found a few trees at Hobby Lobby, and this cherry blossom one is comparable to the one I'm making in terms of its size. This one cost $110. And this fall tree is less than half the size of mine, and it cost $50. So faux trees are not cheap. Alright, so to make my vision of the tree, I first had to figure out how tall I wanted it. I grabbed 2 of the picks to hold them up and gauge the height. I didn't want it too tall, but at least taller than I am, and I'm only 5'1" for reference. Once I was good with where the picks would start, I used floral wire to temporarily hold them in place. I added one wire where the florals start on the pick, and then another wire at the very bottom so it wouldn't just wobble around. I'm using 2 different colors of this same type of pick to add some variety. Especially with this being a fall tree, I felt like this looked like the leaves were changing. I'm also going for a traditional but rich color palette this year with the burnt oranges, mustard yellows, sage greens, chocolate browns, and also adding in some creamy white to pull everything together. Okay, so once I have the picks on, I needed to cover up all of the stems and that floral wire that's holding them in place. This is where the brown floral tape comes into play. I wrapped the entire tree branch and floral picks so that it looks like one solid tree trunk. The key to working with this tape is stretching it as you wrap. The tape itself is not sticky, but once you stretch it and wrap it around itself, the tape will stick together. Wrapping the bottom of the tree was super easy, but once I got up to the picks, I wanted it to look like the picks were coming out as branches. So I would need to weave in and out of different sections. I tried to get a clip of this and film it to show you guys, but it was a little bit hard to see. And that's it for this tree. I put the nursery pot into a basket and covered the top of it with rocks so it doesn't fall over. I love how this turned out so much. And in keeping with this section of the deck, I wanted to add some fall decor to the couch. But first things first, this thing got pretty dirty throughout the summer. So I busted out my little green machine to give it a quick cleaning. I had sprayed the couch with Scotch Guard and that worked out great. Most of the stains were just sitting right on top and the couch kept that water repellency from the Scotch Guard. The couch looked so much better after a quick cleaning, so now I can get out my fall pillows to decorate. I don't know if you have lantern flies where you are, but we have them everywhere, and my husband, being the military man that he is, bought a salt gun to deter them, and he didn't realize I was filming him. But back to the couch, I also picked up this yellow throw blanket to add some more fall color. Now, the pillows and throw blanket are not meant for outdoor use, but today's video sponsor, Mirador, has made it possible for me to incorporate indoor items onto the back deck, and I'm so pleased to have teamed up with them for a second video. I've had the 10x20 111DA Louvered Pergola installed for over a month now, and I am in love with it, you guys. Even though I had to drill into the post to install roller shades, the aluminum material offers excellent durability and won't rust. Unlike a steel structure, which is also significantly heavier than this aluminum frame, my pergola is on a raised deck, and a steel structure would have required me to install additional support beams underneath. No thank you. The louvers also allow you to control the amount of sunlight and ventilation let in, ranging from 0 to 98 degrees, and they have sound dampening and heat blocking qualities. My deck gets full sun all day long, and we have finally been able to sit outside and enjoy this space at any time of day. And I can't forget the best part, this pergola has a rain runoff system, so water doesn't just sit on top. Instead, it runs down to the edges and falls into the gutters where the water flows and drains out through the posts. This allows me to have indoor items like my throw pillows outside because this space stays completely dry, and I couldn't be happier. I know this pergola is an investment, and if you have seen my struggles this summer trying to shade my deck, you would understand why I'm so excited and how much I believe this is worth the cost. So if you're looking for a shade option at your home and receive frequent high winds and rainstorms like I do, you need to check out the pergolas that Mirador has to offer. I have a 10% discount code for you guys linked in my description box, and Mirador is also running a sale starting this week on October 9th, 2023. Additional details are listed in my description box. Now, speaking of the louvers, I picked up the chiffon fabric from Hobby Lobby and wanted to add some swags onto the ceiling for a romantic vibe. Similar to the curtain look that I did with the first iteration of my deck this summer. Unfortunately, I bought the rest of what Hobby Lobby had in this color, so I only had enough for 2 swags. I would have loved to at least have 1 more, but that's okay. And in order to get the 2 swags, I had to cut the fabric in half. Then I opened up the louvers not fully, but about halfway, so I can start to feed the fabric through. To make the swags all the same size, I counted out 6 louvers and then fed the fabric through again. And I repeated that all the way down the pergola and did the same thing on the back side as well. For the next section of the deck, I wanted to add a pumpkin display between the 2 slingback chairs. So I picked up these crates from Michael's and wanted to stain them a darker color. But these crates are such a rough, splintery wood. I had to sand them down before adding the stain. Otherwise, they would have looked like a hot mess. I'm also going to add a wood conditioner pre-stained to this crates. This helps give the wood an even and less patchy looking stain. And for the stain color, I'm using dark walnut. Now, to decorate the crates, I picked up a variety of pumpkins from my local farmer's market. I love the warty looking pumpkins and these green ones that are all deformed. They look so cool together. So then I just played around with the placement and where everything was going to sit. This is something that usually takes me a few attempts of moving things around. I think styling is all about what feels right to you. Take a step back every few minutes, see how it looks together. Do you need another object added in? Are the colors and sizes of the pieces working well together? Styling is a trial and error process, and there is no wrong way to put a display together. If you love the way that it looks, that's all that matters. I'd wanted to add some mums in here for additional elements and to add some height, but unfortunately I bought them a few weeks before I was ready to decorate and they died. RIP little mums. Alright, now it's time for the tablescape. I picked up a couple of fake pumpkins for this one from both Hobby Lobby and Michaels. On the 2 orange pumpkins, I wanted to give their stems a little upgrade. I didn't love that flat, stumpy look. So I took my air dry clay, rolled it out into a thin sheet, and wrapped it around the existing stem. This made it longer, and I was able to make it look a little bit more whimsical. Now I want to make these look like Pottery Barn terracotta pumpkins. I have seen iterations of these all over my Pinterest feed. Of course, none of my pumpkins are the right color, so I need to mix up some paint to make it look like the terracotta. I have had this paint sample for a long time, and I actually have no idea what the color is. It is not labeled anywhere, but it looked almost perfect for this project. It's a little bit too brown, so I added in a smidge of orange, and that was spot on. I also added in baking soda to get that pottery texture. I gave all of the pumpkins 2 coats of paint, and on the second coat, while the paint is still wet, I'm adding in some baking flour all over with a brush. I patted the flour all over the pumpkin and then went back and wiped it. This is what really gave it that texture and look of the terracotta pumpkins from Pottery Barn. This short, wide pumpkin turned out to be the best. The other 2 I did are a little bit too orange, and the flour didn't lay down as nicely on them. I had let the paint dry a little bit too long on those second 2. For the 2 clay stems, I painted them brown and then added in some thin lines with black paint to look like ridges. And I took the brush with brown paint on it and dragged it over the black lines to soften and blend it in a bit. Okay, now we need to decorate the outdoor table. And any of these decor areas I'm showing you today can easily translate to indoor spaces. These do not need to stay outside. I picked up a jute table runner from Hobby Lobby. This was in their spring shop, and I got it when they had their spring stuff at 70% off. This was a great score and definitely doesn't scream spring to me, but can be used all year. So I added that to the table first, and it was the perfect length. Then I started with the pumpkins in the center, and here you can see how different that first one looks from the other 2. I think I also added in a less orange paint, and I prefer the color of that one as well. Now it's all about the layering, adding in tons of variety in terms of leaves and pumpkins and just different textures. I got all these picks from Hobby Lobby. These small ones are really inexpensive. They have fall 40% off pretty much every day, so you're paying comparable prices to the Dollar Tree for higher quality and more variety. And the last little detail for this space, I'm adding in some acorn picks into my lanterns to give them a fall vibe as well. I love the way my deck decor came together this fall, and I'm so excited to keep mixing up my decor for the seasons. Let me know in the comments if you enjoyed this style of video and coming along with me while I decorate, or do you prefer we keep the content to DIYs only? I love to hear your feedback. As long as it's constructive and kind, I have no tolerance for rude comments and will ignore them. But anyways, don't forget to check out Mirador if you're looking for a pergola for your home, and I'll see you in the next one.